So pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for
which it stands,
one nation,
under
under
God,
God, indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I want to thank everyone for coming. Well, we can get started here, so. Minutes, I have minutes here, commissioners on July 15th, 2025. Have a motion.
I would make a motion, we approve minutes from 25th or July 15th.
Okay, second. Any all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, reports, is there anything on that, Helen, or reports?
I have none.
Okay, correspondence, anybody? Nope, we're moving right along. Calendar review then, please, Helen.
Okay. Tomorrow night, 6:30, Clancy Water and Sewer meeting. Thursday, survey review at 1:30. It's Commissioner Bueller Friday. Monday, there was a joint meeting with the Madison County Commissioners in Whitehall at 10 and Parks Recreation Trails Commission meeting at 6:30.
Meeting in Whitehall's at 10.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan's. I'm gonna miss another meeting that day, so.
Oh, you're not gonna be there?
No, I'll be at that meeting.
Oh.
I'll miss, I have a area 4.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, any other additions, commissioners?
I'm gonna sit in on the clerk and recorder, interviews for a new admin person. That's today, what, 3:30, Ginger?
There's one today, 2 tomorrow, and then one of them that was supposed to be tomorrow rescheduled.
Okay, so one today to one tomorrow.
There will still be 2.
Two tomorrow.
Another-
Oh, okay, nice, okay. So we're trying to fill a position in Ginger's office, and we may, why I'm sitting in is because we may use them to help cover when Helen's gone. We used to have a person that would sit at the office when Helen's gone, and we've kind of lost that person, so maybe we can use this person jointly to fill that gap.
Okay. Commissioner reports, I'll start with you, Commissioner Doolittle.
I had a mental health local advisory council meeting on the 17th at noon. Basically went through the agenda. We did some stuff with who was gonna sit in on the board from the sheriff's office. Nothing to report. A lot of people were not at the meeting. Did discuss, don't discard your Narcan. There's some things out there that are coming where they might extend it, so it might last longer past the expiration date. They're redoing their billboard and we're looking for a new place in the county to put it. And we don't have an answer for that yet, so we don't know where we're gonna put it. Talking about doing the QPR training again. They're discussing that throughout the county. And that was about it for that. Though we did discuss their budget. Bob did get that done, and he just carried over the cash they have. They didn't spend most of their budget last year, and there's, I think, $17,448 in there that they're just gonna carry over to their next budget. So that's all I had.
Can you tell me what the acronym, what is it, QPR you said?
I don't remember what it stands for. It's mental health training.
Question.
Oh, hello, okay,
Mental
I'm
health
with you,
training.
I'm with you. Okay,
Question something refer.
Yep.
thank you. Commissioner Kirsch.
All right, let's see, last Tuesday after our afternoon meeting, I had a fire council meeting here in Boulder, out at the fire department. DNRC's paying staff to staff brush trucks both in Montana City and Whitehall, so they're using the local resources to staff emergency vehicles for wildfire response. And I got to actually see one of those yesterday when we had a fire out here by the landfill. They showed up from Montana City. It was nice to have the backup. St. Pete's is still struggling with staffing, especially paramedics, hiring traveling they're hiring traveling paramedics to fill the gap. And the affordable housing seems to be the reason for the staffing challenges, which we all see that. Our current president now, Lynn Stimson, volunteered to be president for one more year, kind of putting the bug out there to somebody to step up, be president after this 1 year is done. Grace from Jefferson City, she's the fire chief there, stepped up for vice president, so. Other than that, kind of the same old meeting, had a real good turnout there, had probably pretty close to 30 people at that meeting, which is unusual. Wednesday, school transportation committee meeting, just discussed basic changes in routes. Still trying to figure out who's responsible for bus signage, and we'll probably talk about that at our next road meeting. The school doesn't have funding for it. And I can't imagine school bus signs being very expensive, but I think it's a safety issue that if nobody else is gonna do it, I think we need to step up and spend a few $100 and get the school bus turnaround signs or whatever put up. I know Bear's not very happy to wanna do that, but at the same time, I think it's kind of our, we're kind of charged for safety, so in our position. He kind of mentioned the sawmill. We're trying to figure out if that's a county road or not. If it's not a county road, that might change the bus route up there, but I don't know if they can have a bus route on and on county road, because we won't maintain it, so that's a whole new.
So that would affect no signage then, right? Probably, because it's not the bus route itself? Because
Yeah,
it's not a county road, I guess.
it's not a county road, and I'm not sure if their bus turnaround up there is signed or not, but the sawmill thing's gonna be a ways down until we can figure out if that's actually a county road, but I never thought of that. County road being a bus route, if there is a bus route that's not a county road, I'm not sure how that works, so we'll have to figure that out. And last Thursday, we had a brief Tippet board meeting, still waiting for the market analysis on the warehouse out there that the Tippet board owns down in the south campus down there. Once we get the value for that, we'll be able to figure out if GLDC wants to purchase that. I think we have to do it at a fair, trying to think, we put it out to everybody essentially to see. I had to look at that again, but I think,
There's two different sections of law depending on what it's classified as, which is why we need the appraisal or the certified market analysis. Because it's a different. kind of
different law for different,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's, leased, a building on leased ground. So, if it's considered like, if it's considered one way, then it's, you put it out for bid. If it's considered the other, then it has to be a fair market. So,
right. And I think we can actually sell governmental property to other governments without having to go through the bidding process, if I remember right. There's certain rules, but we're working through that anyway, because we'd really like to get that warehouse into GLDC's property instead of ours. We really, once the Tippet is gone, then it's just probably, it's gonna be tough to figure out. It's probably gonna be the counties, and we don't wanna be landlords, so. Water well issue still being worked out. Sound like they'll leave the boundary, which we were originally thinking of doing, but if they can't figure that out, they'll just drill a new well. And it sounded like the mine was taking care of that. They'll figure out if they're gonna move the boundary or just move the well.
I'm sorry, any idea on time frame there?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Sam just kind of works on it when she
all right.
can, but this is kind of on the mine's dime, so they're the ones working on it, so whatever their timeline is.
Thank you.
Revolving loan fund through, the Tippet is GLDC may try to utilize that to put up another warehouse. May need to allocate more to this fund, for such a project, looking into who can service that loan. So we got $250,000 sitting in that Tippet fund under, short-term loans to kind of help any, businesses get in there and help them do bridge financing or whatever, so. GLDC is trying to figure out if they can utilize that money to put up another warehouse and start making some more money, so we're looking into that as well. That same day, there was a Mako property tax and budgeting town hall. Did you sit in on that, Ginger? No, okay. That was a lot of high-level complicated tax stuff that I was listening, but really wasn't soaking in. And it sounded, even Mako said, this is stuff you don't need to worry about right now. As soon as all this gets worked out, we're gonna get with you and walk you through the process. It's just all the new bills and how that's gonna affect our mills and budgets and all that, so. Then later that night, I went to the Basin School Board meeting, mostly just to be a presence there. The last school board meeting really blew up and got very contentious and they had to shut it down, so I wanted to be there and kind of be in the middle of it, just to give people, try to slow things down and try to get people talking to each other civically and, just be kind of a anchor there. So, and it turned out really good. The school board, it wasn't just because I was there, but the school board meeting, the school board was very receptive and the guests there were very good and respectful. And it turned out to be one of the best board meetings they've had, and I think they're moving in the right direction to try to get that school out of the non-operative status now, so. They have 3 years to do that before it actually gets, taken over by Boulder School. If they can't get anything done in 3 years, being non-op, it automatically, reverts to Boulder School District, so. And then we had, I think just Doug this morning, and he gave just a basic overview of his department, what's going on. They still haven't figured out the federal funding, the FEMA funding, which funds a lot of his office. So his budget's really up in the air, because typically we use a lot of the Fed money to fund his office, and we don't know if that's there or not. We probably won't know till well into the budget year, so. He's been working with his drone a little bit. The drone's been a good tool for certain circumstances. Sheriff's office uses it once in a while. We'll definitely use it on wildfires and, yeah, whatever else we need to use it for, but it's a good tool to have in the toolbox, and Doug's sharp on it, so I'm glad he's doing it. I think that was all we had this morning that we can report on.
Thank you, sir. On Thursday, the 17th last week, I met with the library board meeting. Meeting was held here in Boulder. Election of officers took place, and Caitlin Parks is the new chairman and Ann Dutton is the new vice chairman. The group decided to move forward on MLA, which I'm pretty sure is the Montana Library Association, with Chris Goss for representation of libraries after they determined that both Boulder and Whitehall libraries would both be considered for acceptance. And then there was discussion about the mills and the new upcoming budget, as no one knows what it'll be yet. That's all I have. Okay. Now this is the opportunity for public comment. Anyone that wishes to say anything that's not on the agenda is hereby we ask that you identify yourself first prior to saying anything, and I open the floor to anyone that has anything to say that's not on the agenda. No?
Paul's always got something. Not today, huh? Put you on the spot, Paul.
Well, this may sound self-serving. For a change. What are the regulations? You talk about school bus turnaround signs for county roads.
So in our county road standards, or whatever we use for maintaining roads, it specifically says in there that all signs for the school are purchased by the school. We'll actually install them. The school just gotta provide them for us, and we'll install them, and that's in our road standards. So that's what Bear's referring to, and I can see where he's coming from, but if the school doesn't have money or they can't seem to come up with that, then.
But the road standards are on the website, so I can go up and examine them.
I think they are.
Anything.
I think all that's up there. I'm not sure where in there that, in that document, the bus stop signs are, but.
Yeah, not specifically. I'm not thinking about going back to school or anything. So, but as you know, I kind of have the slalom race going down the hill in front of my house, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that has a situation like that. Probably over in Jefferson City, there's probably one on the other side of the creek and everything. And I guess I'm thinking I've bought the little men and put those out, and of course that doesn't do any good. And then I got these little yard ducks, which now have been driven over 3 times, you know, and broken, which is kind of upsetting because it's deliberate. It isn't by accident. And I'm sure somebody thinks it's fun or funny, but it's, I would like to think about or propose that maybe the county put up a slow sign. I don't know, Craig, you've got more experience with this. You've had deputies sit up there, you know, many things have been tried. I still think a nice old Kelly up in the road to slow people down. What's it? Airborne, yeah, okay, and then.
It's always been a problem, as you well
I
know,
know,
Paul.
and so I would open a shock and tire store at the bottom of the hill then, okay?
Mhm.
But maybe a slow sign, I don't know the answer, or a speed limit sign. To remind people, it's not that I wanna cloud my neighborhood with regulatory signs in any way, shape or form. Or you maybe even don't have the authority to sign a speed limit unless you do a traffic study out of it. So anyway, I was gonna take a look at long story, I was gonna take a look at the sign regulations, see wherein lies what can happen, and then make a proposal, but I don't have much hope that that's gonna either happen or do anything. So that's my public comment.
The road standards, or if you go to the roads page on the county website, the road standards
Are there?
document.
Okay, thanks, Helen.
And we just invested in a couple, high-tech road, flashing signs, speed flashing signs.
Right.
And when you're driving down the road, it'll flash your speed. We just invested in a couple of those.
Mhm.
And not only does that tell you what your speed is, you're going down that road, but we get a report that says, here's how many people were going this fast.
Mhm.
You know, how many trips per day, how many were speeding, how many were following the law, what the low speed was. I mean, it gives you all the
Oh, uh-huh.
parameters. So we're gonna set those out in the trouble areas and see exactly what trouble we have. Then we can hand the report to the sheriff and say, okay, here's the time of day, everybody's speeding. Can you go up there and sit there for a bit and write some tickets or something? So
Great.
I think those tools will be highly handy for these roads that people are ripping out of all the time. So.
Very
Where do you live?
in Forest Park,
Oh, I see, yeah, okay,
right at the end or the beginning of the pavement.
okay, yeah.
And so, what was the cost of one of those machines?
I think they're around $5,000.
Ooh, wow.
Is that all?
That's
No, because when I was at Canyon Ferry, I considered buying a couple of them, and at
Mhm.
that time, they're about $8,000.
And they might have been that.
I don't think I think they came down and then you got a better deal if you got more than one, so.
Well, I might have to invest in one of those for you.
There you go.
Because I think the idea that if people knew that how fast they were driving.
It helps, yeah.
Uh-huh. And then when they step on the brakes on the gravel, that tricks that old, what do you call it?
Washboard.
Corrugated, yeah, washboard. Anyway,
Yep.
sorry to take so much time.
No, keep going. All right. Thank you, Paul. Anyone else? Okay, if not, we're gonna go on and discuss and decide on appointment to fill vacancy for Montana House District 75. We were given 3 candidates. Last Wednesday, we met with all 3 candidates, which were Terry Churchill, Mark Reinschmidt, and Kirk Wagner. And we had a good interaction with all 3. And now it comes to where we need to make a determination on who should fill Marta's seat. So that being said, I would entertain a motion as for one of the candidates.
This is a really tough decision because we got 3 great candidates. We've got somebody with great experience, which is Kirk, and we've got Terry, Mr. Churchill here, that's got great experience with the party itself and very integral with the Republican Party and knows a lot of the people and very networked in there. And then we have Mr. Reinschmidt that's kind of new and not really in the mix yet. So we've got pretty good array of different personalities and different experiences. So to me, this is a tough decision to move forward. It's not quite as heavy because they don't have a legislative session to worry about. They'll have to run next year to be voted in by the people in November of next year. So the people will get to decide who moves forward as far as the legislative session, but they still have a interim here to fill. And I think that being part of that interim is going to help them eventually in the election. So it does have a little bit of weight to our appointment here. So that was just what I wanted to say before we make a decision, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah, and I just want to thank all the candidates and the work for everybody, and the interviews went great. Everybody's did a great job, and I appreciate you wanting to put your name in there and move forward.
I myself can't say much more because of these 2 combined, but yeah, it was good for what we had here. So thank you. Appreciate every one of you stepping up. So that being said, let's entertain the motion.
Being in the spirit of what we're trying to fill, which is Marta's position, Marta Bertoglio. In my mind, she's a very kind of an independent, not so much party line thinker. She does what's best for the county. She's very communicative to the county and very, yeah. She thinks about our county first and the constituents within her county, what she was voted to represent this county. And so in my mind, we need to find the replacement for that, not my own opinion, what we need, or these folks' opinion, what we need, but we needed to put somebody back in there was most like Marta. That was my charge on this. And out of the three, to me, Mr. Reinschmidt fit that the best, just because of his position and his newness and his openness and all that. So that being said, I would move to appoint Mr. Mark Reinschmidt to this position to fill out Marta Bertolio's term, Mr. Chairman.
And thank you, Mr. Commissioner. Do I have a second in regards to that?
I would second it, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. I'll take a vote then. That being said, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, Mark Reinschmidt has been a selected individual. Again, we can't say enough for the others that, for their participation and interest. But again, like, Commissioner Kirsch said, this is a 2-year, just a term to fill in. That doesn't mean that the 2 other candidates, can't run too, so. Yeah, just keep that in mind, please. But we thank you for your time and patience. So that being said, is there anything else that anyone else wants to say? It's not on the agenda. If not, then we'll be adjourned.